Tony D and Little Joan with a screenwriter's rant on Maggie Moore's, starring Jon Hamm and Tina Fey. Jon Hamm plays, I think, a sheriff who's got to solve a mystery of two dead women who are both named Maggie Moore. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books. Links in the description. Comedy horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys, books 1 through 11. Available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free. So the basic premise is Hamm is trying to solve the murders, and Tina Fey is her nosy neighbor, or at least of one of the Maggie Moores who died, and ends up, I think, helping Jon Hamm, or becomes the love interest of Jon Hamm for the movie. This looks okay. Inspired by true events. It reminds me a little bit of like, the Coen brothers movie Fargo. Fargo. It's a little bit like Fargo. It's quirky murder mystery about this guy trying to. First he wanted to scare his wife, but then the guy he hires ends up killing her, and they just get deeper and deeper. So it's based on true events. This is the guy he hires, and it just all goes wrong, and then Jon Hamm's trying to capture him, trying to figure out who did it, and the guy's covering his tracks, and they end up killing like two women. And as they solve the mystery, they get deeper and deeper into it, and there's a fair bit of action, or not action, but violence at the end, I think, or during the course of the movie. So. Looks pretty interesting. And looks kind of funny. More amusing than funny. Maggie Moore's. Alright, who wrote this thing? Written by Paul Birnbaum and directed by John Slattery. Okay, so you got Jon Hamm, Tina Fey, Micah Stock, Nick Mohammed, and Happy Anderson. Who plays the deaf killer. I would see this. Looks good. Looks fun. Looks, quirky and interesting. This seems like a good role for Jon Hamm. Seems like he gets... like Fletch, that didn't seem right for him. It didn't seem like his character. I hear the movie's not awful, but I don't know. It didn't feel right for him. This feels a little more right because it's his character, essentially, because I don't think this character has been done before in a movie, so it kind of makes it his. He could do his take on it. You don't have to compare it to, say, in the case of Fletch, Chevy's take. And, looks fine. Looks fine. Tina Fey, not looking to pull out all the comedy stops, but she seems fine in this role as a bored suburban housewife who, I guess, falls for him because there's a scene later where they're in bathrobes. So, would I see it? Yeah. Probably wouldn't stampede to the movie theater to see it, but I'd probably go. This is like a good date movie. It's light. It's not going to be particularly dark, even though there's some murders in it. It's going to be kind of fun and amusing. A little bit of romance. So, good date movie. Feels like it's based on a book. I don't know. First act, the first woman dies, and part of that, second woman dies, and they find out they're both named Maggie Moore, and that's weird. I'm not sure how many murders they have in this town. It doesn't seem like that small of a town, so it's possible they deal with their share of murders, I guess. Then, so they're drilling down into it, and they go to question or talk to the husband of one of the victims, and Jon Hamm meets Tina Fey, who becomes the love interest. He ends up having dinner with her. She invites him in, and he questions her, gets some info, and leaves. And then the second act, I think it's half about Jon Hamm, but half about the killers trying to cover their tracks and just getting deeper and deeper into this. So It's going to be quite a bit of that, quite a bit of low-level criminality, which I really enjoy, because when the stakes are low, it's that much more funny, I think, and dangerous for the characters involved. And so the second act, they're escalating. Jon Hamm is trying to find out who they are. He's like a few steps behind them, but he's catching up. People are dying. And then the third act, he confronts them. I don't know if he's got to save Tina Fey. That would seem kind of unrealistic, but possible because she was his neighbor, and then maybe he gets wind that she spilled the beans on him and decides, oh, I'm going to take care of her too, because he thinks he's a gangster and he can just kill people and get away with it. And then, of course, the end. Jon Hamm solves the murder, and the two guys go to prison for the rest of their lives. And him and Tina Fey, I think, stay together. I think that would be a nice movie to see. What would be wrong with that? Little romance, little bit of crazy crime. I don't understand quite why he decides to kill the other Maggie Moore, how he thinks that'll cover up his crime with his wife. And then he keeps telling this guy not to kill him, but to make it look like an accident, or, scare her. So, I guess they're just that stupid. I don't know. But it's kind of an interesting take. Okay, let's see what it says here. When two women with the same name are murdered days apart, a small-town police chief, I guess it is a small town, Jordan Sanders, that two people would be murdered in a small town. That would be, if we had two murders in my small town, that would be crazy. Finds himself wading through an unlikely collection of cheating husbands, lonely hearts, nosy neighbors, and contract killers in an effort to put the pieces of the case and his life together. Huh. The film is inspired by actual events. Watch Maggie Moore, theaters on demand. In theaters and on demand, June 16th. Now, see, they ought to give it a little chance. I could see this being a decent date movie. Depending on when it's released, I think it's, June 16th. It's a summery movie. It's light. It's kind of comedy. I don't think you should just put it right up on demand the same day you release it out in theaters. Then why go to the theater? It's so much cheaper to watch these things at home. So much cheaper. Movie theaters the experience sucks. It just sucks. First off, you go to the movie theater. The last time I went to the movies, it was a half hour before the actual movie played. I timed it. So 30 minutes. That was from the time it was supposed to start. Like, it was supposed to start, and then 30 minutes passed with previews and commercials and all this stuff. I kind of want to see the previews, but I've actually seen them all online. Maybe it's time to cut back on the coming attractions in the theater. It used to be you could only see them in the theaters, and they were fun to see. Now you can see them online all the time. Maybe you don't need to play them in the movie theaters on top of commercials. Or maybe shorten them. The commercials in the movie theaters are just brutal now. I paid this money to see a movie. I didn't pay money so you could show me commercials. I can tolerate the trailers. That's at least, usually they're kind of entertaining. But I cannot tolerate commercials. And they tried to charge me an extra $1 for the Batman, and I refused to pay. If you charge me an extra $1 and say you won't see a single commercial, I might pay that. But it's just ridiculous. A half hour, 30 minutes, which basically breaks down to about 20 minutes of commercials, because all the trailers are 2 minutes longish, 2.5, and maybe you see 4 of them. Okay, so maybe 10 minutes, but still, that's too much. But yeah, I would see this movie. Would you see it in theaters? Yeah, again, on a date, maybe, just to go out and get out. But if I just wanted to see it for myself, there's no reason to go to the theater. No reason at all. I'll see it on the small screen. This isn't a spectacular. And if I'm going to see it on the small screen, I'll wait until the price goes down. I'll wait until it's been out for like 6 months, and then you drop the price to $2.99. Yeah, why am I going to waste the money? There's a million movies I've missed. Might as well see something from last year, pay only $3, rather than whatever you're going to charge me here, probably $7 or $8. And that's getting out of control too. I mean, I reviewed Sid is Dead yesterday. That movie to rent new is $6.99. You know, it's cheaper than a movie ticket, but that's what movie tickets used to cost. So, if Hollywood thinks they can price themselves into profit, they're wrong. They should be doing the opposite. They should be charging nothing. They should be, this movie in particular, if you want to get people in the theaters, make it cheap. Make it cheap, $5. This movie's worth about $5. Yeah, you can make it a matinee. $5 matinees. People would go. You'd fill the theater up. You'd sell a lot of popcorn. Isn't that worth something? Anyhow, that's it for me, Tony D, and Little Joan. Check us out on Odysee, Bitchute, and Rumble for our more base takes. You can find a more base take. Take it. What's going on? Live stream tomorrow at 7. Next signing won't be until next week, May 6th. I'll be at Level Up Entertainment in the mall from 10 to 5. And then on Sunday, the 7th, LBI Book Swap. Very psyched for both of those signings. So just relaxing this weekend. So check out my videos, and we'll see you on the live stream tomorrow.